Okay, so what if I told you that just one single vowel can mean the difference between part of your gut and a major bone in your hip? Well, today we are diving right into the very curious case of the Ileum versus the Ilium. And believe me, this mix-up is way more than just a simple spelling error. It's a super critical distinction, especially in the world of medicine. Seriously, it all comes down to just one letter, E versus I. That's it. One is the soft, winding tube in your intestine, and the other is a big, sturdy bone in your pelvis. So let's get into just how important this tiny difference is, especially when, medical accuracy is on the line.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Imagine a surgeon planning an operation. One single misplaced vowel in their notes, and suddenly they could be prepping for surgery on the digestive system when the real problem is in the skeleton. Whoa! That's exactly why, in medicine, precision isn't just important. It's everything.
All right, first up, let's take a little journey deep into our digestive system to meet the ileum. That's I-L-E-U-M. Think of this as the final and super crucial stop for the food we eat. It plays a massive role in how our bodies actually get fueled up. So what is it exactly? Well, the ileum is simply the third and final part of the small intestine. So after your food has been broken down by the stomach and the first two parts of the small intestine, it makes its way into this long, winding tube, which is located deep down in your lower abdomen.
You can kind of think of the ileum as the body's final quality control checkpoint. It's a real specialist, Its whole job is to absorb very specific, very important nutrients like vitamin B12 and bile salts. It's basically the last chance to grab all the good stuff before the rest gets passed on to the large intestine. And just to give you a sense of scale here, this thing is not small. We're talking about a remarkably long, muscular tube that can be anywhere from 2 to 4 meters long. I mean, think about that. That's probably longer, maybe even twice as long as you are tall. Pretty wild, right?
Okay, so now let's completely shift gears and meet its sound-alike, the ileum, this time spelled I-L-I-U-M. And as you're about to see, this part of our body could not be more different.
Yeah, the ileum is pretty much the polar opposite of the ileum. We're not talking about a soft, hollow tube anymore. Nope, this is a large, solid bone. In fact, it's the biggest and highest part of your hip bone, and it forms this critical foundation for your entire skeleton.
So what does it do? Well, its main jobs are all about strength and protection. It gives a nice, wide, stable surface for your big muscles to attach to, and it creates this sort of protective bowl that shields all the important organs down in your pelvis.
And here's something really cool you can do right now. Go on, put your hands on your hips. You feel that prominent bony ridge? That's it. That's the iliac crest, the very top of your ileum. You're literally touching the bone we're talking about right now.
All right, so we've met them individually. Now it's time for the side-by-side showdown to really hammer home just how different these two things are.
Just look at this breakdown. In one corner, you've got the ileum, digestive system, lower abdomen, a soft tube for absorbing nutrients. And in the other corner, the ileum, skeletal system, pelvis, a hard bone for support and protection. I mean, the contrast couldn't be more obvious.
So with such a massive difference between them, how on earth do we make sure we never mix them up again? Well, the good news is, there's a really simple trick.
Let's start with the ileum. We've got a super simple memory aid that makes it pretty much impossible to forget.
Here's all you have to do. Just focus on that vowel. The E in ileum is the same E you find in the word eat. And since the ileum is all about digestion and processing what you eat, well, the connection is just perfect.
Okay, now for its bony counterpart. You guessed it, there's a matching trick for the ileum too. It's the exact same simple logic. Focus on the vowel I. The ileum is a key part of your hips. That I sound they share creates a direct link to the part of your body you can literally put your hands on. And that right there brings us to the most important takeaway. This isn't just some fun fact for trivia night, right? It's a perfect example of why precise language is the absolute foundation of medicine. One little letter can be the difference between crystal clear communication and a critical error, something that directly impacts patient safety.
So you see, by breaking down a topic that seems kind of complex, we can make it super simple to understand. And that just leaves us with one final thought. What other confusing concepts out there in any field are just one simple explanation away from being totally clear?